Can you talk about the interactive nature and just how open this game is based on what choices you make?
Yeah, so basically, everybody and anyone can die, everyone and anyone can survive, and when you're dead, which means that the story literally adapts to what happens whilst you move around the world. You can get thousands of paths to hundreds of different types of endings, just because of the maths of splitting those things up and having binary choices that start to follow themselves down to a path that leads to a culmination of an end. As far as exploration goes, we encourage you to explore. The more you explore, the more you'll find out. The more you find out, the better equipped you'll be to survive until dawn.
How big a script was there for that?
It's huge. It's absolutely huge. It's nearly 1,000 pages long. So yeah, it's massive.
Can you talk about the butterfly effect and what that role is in the game?
Yeah. So one of the things we noticed is we had all these paths, but we were aware that as you played through the game, you didn't know if you triggered one of those paths or events. So we wanted to make sure that there was something that gave you an inkling. Oh, okay, I've done something now that's literally changed my fate. And so you could plot and see what your path was doing based against the thousands of other paths you could have done. So it's more about just communicating to the player the ramifications. We don't tell you what is going to happen, but we tell you something's happened that's going to significantly change your story.
And can you also explain the three different types of horror, the pillars that you have in the game?
Yeah, so this is a sort of a universal concept, really. It's terror, horror, and disgust. Would you like me to describe those as well? So terror is the dread of an unseen threat that's constantly there. You know, it changes in pitch, and sometimes it's really intense, and sometimes it's just underlying, but it's always there. And it's the threat of being killed. It's the threat of you don't know what. Horror is the culmination of terror. Horror is when you can see the thing that's terrorizing you. It's the manifestation of the terror. And then disgust is, with horror, we use that much more sparingly. We don't want to put horror in your face the whole time. We want to use terror most because that's the tension and the thrill. So with horror we use less, and the thing we use even less than that is the disgust thing. And disgust is the kind of gory, nauseating realization of your own fragility. That how easily you can get torn open and that sort of stuff. We don't want to be overly graphic about it, but the reminder of how vulnerable you are is really strong.
How did you test this game on real people? I understand you had an actual test to figure out if they were scared.
Yeah, no, we did. So we had we call it the fear machine. We got players to come in, sit down in a darkened room. We wired them up to a galvanic skin response test machine. What that does effectively is measures the conductivity, the electrical conductivity of your skin. The more nervous and anxious and frightened you get, the more you perspire. So people start to get sweaty hands, and we were able to measure the exact level of that and plot it against what was going on the screen at the time that was happening. So we could see when people get super frightened, even if afterwards they say, yeah, it was fine, you were scared, you were really scared there. So we can see what that's doing, so we can balance out. So we don't want constant fear, because people get saturated. It's like you get this kind of level of overstimulus, and then it kind of dies a death. So we're trying to get this pitch, this kind of roller coaster of emotion and fear as we go through the game.
You guys have a name for the boogeyman that you show in this?
We at the moment we call him the Psycho. That's all we're going to call him for now. Yeah. We don't want to give it away too much yet.
And the basic premise, just walk us through that.
The storyline, you mean? So it's effectively 8 friends come back to a mountain the year after a dreadful tragedy. There's a slowly manifesting horror that they become aware of. You get to play all 8 characters, and you get to make your own story.